Welcome back to Trailer Psychology. You might notice there's a difference in the decor. We are not at the previous location. The previous location was seized by the authorities, and my producer, who uh, was helping me do this, has unfortunately died. And so season 2 is going to be a little different from season 1. RIP him. We had a great time together, and he got into a terrible accident. Uh, a really, a really strange wheelbarrow accident at Whole Foods. It's very rare that people die from this, but he did. And anyway, so let's see what's been going on with me. I've been making a lot of beats. Have you noticed? I'm not trying to restart my rap career, so don't get on that bullshit with me. Like Brooks, you trying to make a comeback? No, I'm not trying to make a fucking comeback. Okay, fuck a comeback. Okay, no, I'm not trying to go somewhere. I'm not like, yo, let's drop this fucking EP and just full delusional. Like, oh yeah, we going to the moon with this. No. What happens is once I start making beats, and I open up Pandora's cock, right? Pandora's box. What happens is I can't stop. So I started making some songs, creating some content. It's just all part of the same Brooks Buford comedy media empire that doesn't exist. All right. On this episode, I think we're going to cover. So in this episode, I think we're going to cover a few things. Being that I'm dead and I'm back from the dead, I'm going to be interviewing a good friend of mine about ghosts, which I don't believe in, and the afterlife. I'm going to be doing that a little bit later. Let's see what's going on. That's interesting. Well, they let Harvey Weinstein out, and you know what? You know whose fault that is? It's the people that abused Me Too. You guys did this. You did this to yourself. Okay. Me Too started as a very valid movement. Okay. It was valid. You had this creep, right? You had a whole bunch of creeps doing creep shit for the last fucking 6,000, 100,000 years, right? And never been checked. And it was time to check all these fucking rapists and creeps and weirdos. But what did you do, right? What did some of you fucking do? You were like, well, I want to be a part of Me Too. So let's cancel this guy because he looked at me with his eyeballs, right? Let's cancel this guy because he touched my shoulder. Let's cancel this guy because he made an innuendo. Let's cancel this guy because he made a sexual joke, wasn't even directed at me. Let's cancel this guy because he has a dick, right? Let's cancel him. Let's cancel this guy because he had sex once, right? Let's cancel people we voluntarily had sex with, and then be like, I did say yes, and I said yes the whole time, but I didn't really like it. And so now let's write a 6 fucking page article about it. So that's what happens, guys. That's what happens. That's what happens when you abuse a movement. You end up freeing the person that you freed the devil. You freed the fucking devil because you guys abused this. And I'm going to tell you right now, fucking the Me Too environment was borderline girl Super Bowl. I mean, like, borderline girls hadn't had it this good in their entire life. And by the way, if you don't know what that means, borderline women, not all of them, just the malignant ones, are really, really into lying and making up stories and, pointing the attention to themselves. They have so much hate in their heart. They really hate men. Now, look, every personality disorder is created by a terrible parent. So it's kind of not their fault. But never before in the history of mankind has so many borderline women been able to be heard. And boy, they were heard. I mean, there was somebody getting canceled every single day, right? Every single fucking day, someone was getting canceled, right? Pretty much anybody that ever had sex was evil, was a predator, right? And a lot of these stories turned out to be made up, right? You got your Amber Heards, it's just like, and then it turns into burnout. And it's because people abuse a very valid, is a valid fucking movement. You know, it's important. It's important that, you know, this shit stopped happening to women, right? But the fucking borderlines, you know, if I was, you know, this is going out to women, y'all need to check the borderlines. They ruin fucking everything, right? Because they can't help but cause chaos and mayhem. And they were like, I want to be Me Too. So yeah, they abused it to the point where nobody even believes anyone anymore. And now it's getting harder and harder to cancel people. They tried to cancel Huberman, and he didn't even do anything other than lie to some bitches. I mean, like, that's not, you know, y'all wrote a fucking, you'll put him on the cover of New York Magazine for fucking. I mean, basically fucked some girls and then lied to some other girls, which, you know, may make him a good or bad person, but like, the fuck does that got to do with anything? It's not illegal to fuck a bunch of bitches and lie to all of them. I mean, that's what, you know, I mean, that's just normal shit, kinda. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'm not saying it makes you a good person, but it isn't evil, right? You know, I like tried to read that article too. Like, I tried to get in, I was like, oh, there's gonna be something. There was literally nothing. Like, whose fucking idea was that? What borderline journalist came out? Yeah, we're gonna cancel this guy because he lied to some bitches. That's not, you can't do that, guys. You can't, you know. So anyway, that's another example. And guess what? No one gave a fuck. No one give a fuck. You tried to cancel Huberman, no one cares, okay? No one gave a fuck about that. And that's because you've reached a point of burnout. We've reached a point of burnout because you've abused it. You can't, you know, the borderlines abused it, you know. I'm telling you, it's borderline fucking Super Bowl. They've never been happier. The minute you saw that hashtag believe women, every borderline girl went out of the house knowing that she could destroy lives, and they did. So Harvey Weinstein getting out is your fault. Okay. You know who you are. And some of the women know who these borderline bitches are. And they did this. They freed Harvey Weinstein, right? That's what they did. They freed Harvey Weinstein. So we could cover that. I mean, a lot of, you know, and should I get into this? How do you think Roe v. Wade got turned over? Whose fault do you think that was, right? Was it? Was it people like not focusing on the fucking ball? You know, was it liberals not focusing on the ball, fighting amongst themselves, getting caught up in other shit? And what did the fucking Republicans come and do? They overturned Roe versus Wade. And whose fault is that? Well, if I'm on the left, it's the crazy people's fault for not focusing. You guys didn't focus on what was important. You were like, oh, well, you know, that's the problem with the left or the Democrats, is this whole fighting amongst ourselves. And meanwhile, Satan's crew over there, just, you can't even get in trouble over there. You can't even get in trouble on the other side. On our side, we're like nitpicking everything. Like, no one's left enough, right? Like, oh, you're not left enough, you know? And meanwhile, and then you end up all this screaming and hollering about a niche issue, and boom, Roe v. Wade gets turned over. So that is also on you, okay? Hate to break it to you, but that's on you as well. Which breaks my fucking heart. Let's see, what else is going on? You know, I realized, so I got tested the other day and I have syphilis. But, you know, I've realized that, you know, it's my body, my choice. No one can no one can come at me and, you know, tell me what to do with my body. So I've decided to keep it because I want to see what happens. I've decided to keep syphilis because they can cure it, but it just seems really interesting from what I've read about like kings and stuff who got it. So I will be riding with syphilis for this entire season, and you can see what happens with that. And nobody can tell me what to do because it's my body, my choice. All right. And I'm standing behind that issue. Let's see.